We've got a good, strong economy. Households have amassed a lot of saving. Balance sheet of the typical American family, it is in very good shape. Overall spending is strong. Wealth is increased. Consumer spending is strong. And I expect consumer spending and investment spending to remain quite healthy. Higher food and energy prices are certainly affecting consumers. I trust the Fed to make the right decisions. I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle. We need to have a responsible and sustainable fiscal policy.
Well, now the Treasury Secretary says she does not anticipate that inflation will be a problem in the U.S. economy.
I expect the economy to slow.
Fed has established a goal of 2%.
We certainly want to make sure that inflation stays under control.
Projected inflation during 2021 at 2.1%.
I believe that they're transitory.
So transitory is a word that people have had different understandings of.
Treasury Secretary Yellen also saying, aside from some transitory, that's the Fed's word, increase in inflation in coming months, I don't think there's going to be an inflationary problem.
Measures of inflation expectations, I think, still look quite well contained. Inflation is largely confined.
Most economists, including me, believe will be transitory.
But if you look at the amount of inflation that we have and its causes, that is at most a small contributor. I believe fundamentally, that this is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
Transitory. That's a transitory thing, but I think over the medium term, we'll see inflation decline back toward normal level. Monthly rates, I believe, will come down, and in the second half of the year, I think we'll see a return to levels close to 2%.
What transitory has meant is that if something is transitory, it will not leave behind it permanently or very persistently higher inflation.
We expect somewhat higher inflation over the next several months. We will have several more months of rapid inflation.
In recent months, inflation has been higher.
Inflation rates remain high and will for some time.
So that's why we took a step back from transitory. We said expected to be transitory.
Inflation is a problem, and it's one that we need to address, but I don't expect a recession in the United States.
We've had several months of high inflation.
A soft landing is what I expect.
I don't believe that we're at risk of hyperinflation.
How does raising taxes on corporations reduce inflation?
Look, we have talked about this past year about making sure that the wealthiest among us are paying their fair share. And that is important to do, and that is something that the president has been working on every day when we talk about inflation and lowering costs. And so it's very important that as we're seeing costs rise, as we're talking about how to build a America that's safe, that's equal for everyone and doesn't leave everyone behind. That is an important part of that as well.
But how does raising taxes on corporations lower the cost of gas, the cost of a used car, the cost of food for everyday Americans?
So look, I think we encourage those who have done very well, right? Especially those who care about climate change, to support a fair tax code that doesn't charge manufacturers, workers, cops, builders a higher percentage of their earnings, that the most fortunate people in our nation, and not let that stand in the way of reducing energy costs and fighting this existential problem, if you think about that as an example. And to support basic collective bargaining rights as well, right? That's also important. But look, it is, without having a fair tax code, which is what I'm talking about, then like manufacturing workers, cops, it's not fair for them to have to pay higher taxes than the folks who are not paying taxes at all.